Oh, and we are back. We are back here at the Chris Lazar at the Chris Lazar show. That is right. I am back, baby. You thought it was just gonna be a one episode thing, and that was gonna be it. I was gonna be gone for like another fucking 10 years or some shit like that. But no, no, we're gonna be consistent this time. We're gonna work to be consistent this time. Yeah, that's right. So thank you guys. Yes, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much on this lovely Saturday here in Michigan. What a good day. What a good day. Ohio State is losing. We're going to whoop that Indiana ass. In football, of course, I'm talking about U of M. I'm not talking about Michigan State here. Check yourselves on that. The state of the state, for lack of a better word, is Michigan. It's our year. Michigan State, well, you're let's see what you do next year. Central, Western, who cares? Eastern, I got love for Eastern, man, because they try. They're also the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly! Good for Eastern. Lions suck. Tigers suck. They're not even playing, but they suck. Pistons overpaid for Blake Griffin. And we're going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. That's basically what you got to know. If you're listening and you're not from this area, that's basically the gist of it. But I didn't really want to talk about that today. I wanted to talk about a couple of interesting sets I've had, and I'm using pickup artist lingo here. Sets, a situation where you are talking to a woman, trying to get her in bed. Basically, that's what you're doing. And I try to do this a few times a week, probably not as much as I should. If you read books like The Mystery Method, and they say, hey, when you first start out, you want to get, I think it was like 20 a week. 20 a week, just like basically he advocates going out and just doing it and failing multiple times. And this is what, if you meet, or if you read, I guess, yeah, if you meet a lot of like successful people in businesses and whatnot, sports, that's what you do. You just go out, you fail a shitload of times until you finally get it right. And then you fail a little bit more, and then you get it right again. Then you fail once or twice, and then you get it again. Then you get it again, you get it again, and then it just builds from there. You build up that momentum. There's a good book about, on this called The Compound Effect that I wrote, but lots of people have said it too. It goes for everything in sports. You run plays on air, and you run a slant from the left side, but you can't really catch a slant on the left side because your left hand going on top, it's harder for you to do that. You're right hand dominant, so you can catch a slant, post, in whatever better if you line up on the right side because you got your dominant hand over the top. This was a problem I always had because I was right handed and it was tough for me to catch balls on the left hand side. But you just work at it and you drop a lot of balls, but you pick them up and you keep going. And that's kind of what you got to do with these sets that you have with women. Yes, it is. I got up on my high horse there. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. So lately, it's the sets I've been having are kind of been just me and maybe like one other friend going out to a bar, and me kind of going out and trying to open up groups. I don't really use a wingman. So it's pretty much kind of just me, or I'll just go out on my own by myself, which is a little tougher. You feel a little more intimidated. I definitely like, hanging out with somebody and have somebody there. I feel like it makes it more fun that way. Whatever you want to do, you want to make it like a competition, or they help you out, or, they're just there to shoot the shit, help you get where you need to go. But going by yourself it's a little tougher, especially when you don't really know anybody else in the bar. So you go around and you just kind of do your best. And I always kind of start, and I forget who exactly advocated for this, but basically trying to be the life of the party. I know it's kind of tough to do that when you're one person and like a whatever 100 people are in this bar, but don't aim for maybe that high. Maybe, or maybe you should aim for that high, but know that what you're gonna want to do is at least just start talking to people, talking to men, women, single, married, in a relationship, older, younger. I feel like that always helps me kind of get warmed up to the whole situation. So you walk in, you immediately, hey, you strike up a conversation with the bouncer that checks your ID, and then, hey, you get a drink, and then you strike up a conversation with the bartender. Now, like we were talking about earlier, you get that momentum going. And you get it going, and then you work your way up. Hey, there's a woman at the bar. Okay, you're gonna say something about like, oh, it's not so busy in here. I think that's like what I did this particular night was, oh yeah, it's pretty busy in here, and then just see what takes off from there. You usually kind of know right away if, I guess, like if the girl's willing to play ball and roll with it a little bit, or if she just shuts it down, like, oh yeah, it could kind of go this way, oh, it's busy in here, and then she'll say something like, oh yeah, oh, is that my phone? Quit bothering me, people. And then she'll say something like, oh yeah, yeah, I don't come here too often, and then she starts walking away. Okay, you tried to set your line out and nothing bit. Okay, now you can move on to the next thing, next person. Or she maybe would say something like, "Oh yeah, it wasn't as busy as the at the last bar. Have you ever been to so and so bar? Because we just came from there." Okay, now she's at least willing to talk to you. Now try to keep that ball rolling, and I basically go from there. Had a decent three set this way that walked right straight from the entrance. They walked right in, and I immediately said something about this one girl's height because she was a giant. She fucking, her head was like hitting the chandeliers. I kid you not. She was tall. She was attractive, but she was tall. I said something about that, and said something about like the sports, and I called her out, and I said, "Oh, okay, you're a volleyball player." She got all impressed, like, "Oh my god, no!" Like everybody says basketball. I'm like, "Oh, so you play basketball?" No, 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 I did play volleyball. Okay, cool. Now you got kind of a nice little conversation starter there, and I just kind of rolled with it. She had two other friends, talked with them. Um, then we talked about, this is where I kind of left the scene a little bit right after we talked about age, and I totally said that my age was younger than what I thought it was. For no particular reason, just to be like funny and see what they said, and they totally didn't believe me. that I was 21. They were like, what? No way. You are not 21. Not for a second. They called me out for it, which is pretty good. Most people do think that I am a lot younger than what I am. Yeah, that's basically what they told me right there. Like, oh yeah, ladies, I am 21.
Shut up!
Yeah. Maybe I'm not. After that, I walked away. I walked away and I came back to them, started to converse with another one of the chicks in the group, found out she was a firefighter and all this stuff, and found out she did ketogenic diet, which I was like, oh no, wait, no, she didn't do keto, but she was a cook, and I remember us talking about keto and the fact that neither of us would have done it, even though for all the health benefits of it that everybody talks about, I still wouldn't do it. That's what it was. And then I looked away for a second, and then some other dude came in and started talking to this chick. I'm like, oh fuck no. And normally in this situation, I would walk away. I would say, fuck it, I'm just gonna move on, which I ended up doing. But I was like, you know what? Let's try something different here. Let's stir the pot a little bit, and let's go up to him and just see what happens. And it was awkward as fuck, dude. I said hi to the girl. The guy's like, who is this guy? And I introduced myself to the dude. And then they just go back to talking, just kind of shutting me completely out of the conversation. So I'm pretty much just sitting here staring both of them down while they're talking. And I just throw in random shit like, oh, she's a firefighter, right? Nothing. They just keep talking, ignoring me. Oh, she's a good cook, right? Oh, nothing. Just keep on talking to each other, not even acknowledging me. And then I put my arms around him like I'm like giving him a hug, like, yo, you my boy, Blue. And his big ass friend that was standing behind him gave my hand across his shoulder a death stare. And at that point I said, okay, I can't be getting in a fight and whipping people's ass tonight because I got to train tomorrow. So I walked away. I'm glad I tried it. It was awkward as fuck, though. I don't know if I'd ever do something like that again. Later on in the night, that guy disappeared, and this chick was talking to some other dude. So in the end, I'm really happy that that motherfucker got his just desserts. Oh, yeah. That was basically it for that set. Later on, had a opportunity as I was leaving, struck up a conversation with this other girl who had a knee injury, and we shot the shit for a little bit. I just didn't stay with it long enough. I felt like she would have continued the conversation. They went to the bathroom, though, her and her friends, and I just left. It was late. I just left. No big deal. But I was super proud of myself that night, going in alone at it and coming out with some good experience. Next time, I definitely need, and this is something I always say to myself, is always to push the envelope a little more than what I usually do. Toe that line of being a little bit passive and being too strong. And actually, I'd want to be a little more strong, a little more aggressive. in my opinion. But that's really all I got for you guys today. Sorry, this happened like kind of like a few weeks ago, so my memory, it probably would have been better to record this like the night after when I come, so you can actually see my excitement as I come on. Oh, yeah, woo, I just ran up a hill. I just ran up a hill and I had 3 sets and boy, is that water? Can I have some of that? It probably would have been better to record this like the day after that, just because my memory would have probably been a little bit better. It's not that I was drinking or anything like that, but just would have been better if it was a little bit closer to the experience. I'm not saying my memory's bad. I'm giving you guys like at my best recollections, but something to think about in the future. Who is texting me? What is going on in this Ohio State game, boys? All right, well, I'm going to get back to this football game. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk again soon. Bring some more sports topics into the mix. We'll see ya.